Thank you.
Well, let's get this started. I'll get your form pulled up here. What I'll do is I'll have this recorded and sent to you tomorrow. And then you can send me any questions you would like as well. So, what got you interested in coaching?
Well, I just kind of wanted to get better, I guess. Like that was
Sure.
Yeah, I watched a lot of YouTube videos. Like watched a lot of your YouTube videos. I watched Awkward quite a bit. And I just want to speed up the process a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, makes sense. You play Kiriko?
Yeah. Well, I've been playing a bit of Brig as well recently.
Right. How long you been playing the game?
Very on and off. I started in for like 2018.
Yeah.
But it's been super on and off, and I started on console as well.
Oh, nice.
PC like a couple years ago.
Why did you make that transition?
Not to do with Overwatch, just PC's just better in it.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, for sure. So obviously, you've been playing for a little while, but you said you've been a little bit on and off. So what got you on? What got you off? Was it personal stuff? Was it just enjoyment of the game, metas, heroes, designs? What kind of got you in and out of the game?
Just enjoyment, I guess. I'm not like a proper competitive player or anything. I just,
Yeah, makes sense. Okay. Now, Kiriko, you play mostly Kiriko right now?
Yeah.
Okay, so what got you to stick with Kiriko? Because I'm sure you've played a lot of characters in the last 6 years?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I guess I kind of like the aggressive playstyles you can do.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just never had much success with DPS. I've probably played DPS more than I've played support, to be honest. But I've for some reason I've just been better at support, and I've just stuck with it.
Okay, makes sense. Well, there's a lot of aggressive opportunity with Kiriko, obviously, especially if you've watched some of Awkward's videos and you know what's available. So, okay. So, what do you hope to get out of the session? A better understanding of what my role is and how it may vary in different team compositions. Makes sense. You're Diamond 4?
Yeah. Well, Diamond 5 right now, but yeah.
Nice. Kiriko, and you play roughly 20 hours per week. Okay, so is that all ranked?
I used to play 20 hours per week. I wouldn't say I played because I'm still in school. I'm doing GCSEs.
Yeah.
So recently I've been playing probably 10 hours a week. But
okay, makes sense. Still decent. Is that ranked or is that depends on how you feel?
Mostly comp. Yeah, it depends how I feel, but mostly comp.
Okay, sounds good. Do you have a warm-up routine or you just jump in and play?
I'll do one game of quick play and then I'll play comp.
Okay. Okay, sounds good. And then you're saying that you're getting around hour and a half per day, or do you have some days where you play a lot more and then some days you just don't play any at all?
Weekdays, probably an hour. And then weekends, more like 3 or 4, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Depends.
Yeah, seems reasonable. One of the things I just encourage everyone to do is to take short breaks between queues if you can, or just while you're in queue. Just get up, move around from keyboard. Especially if you're only playing a few games, right? You might as well make every single one of those games count. So I think that's one thing that you could do. Okay. Short term is to hit masters. I don't really have a long term goal. I think you could hit masters with the amount of time that you're spending in. I think it's reasonable. You're just going to need to be very focused and have some specific things to work on in that game. Okay. So what do you feel is holding you back from improving? And you say, mostly mentality, as I often don't play comp that much because I'm afraid of losing. Now that's interesting. It's common, but it's interesting. So I'm curious to hear your thoughts on
that. Wait, sorry, what do you mean by that?
So how long has that been the case? What have you tried anything to improve at that? And obviously, at least you said recently you've been playing pretty consistent amount of rank. But so when does that kind of really start to rear its ugly head and be a problem?
Well, to be honest, I'm all right with getting on comp, and I understand comp is the best way to improve in that.
Yeah.
But once I start losing 2 or 3 games in a row, sometimes I just get off because it's horrible. It's right. I just go on a losing streak or get tilted or something, and it's stuff like that.
Right. Especially when you have to go reaching masters, it feels like every step is a step in the wrong direction. More so
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Well, how long has that been an issue? Has that always been a struggle with ranked, or is it something that's more recently, or what?
I'd say always, yeah. Even in other games as well.
Sure. The challenge with that is it's to actually improve, you have to be willing to like you say, expose yourself to ranked over and over and over again. But see, I'm less concerned about you stepping away from the game. I'm more concerned about what are you focusing on in that game that makes those 2 or 3 losses feel so bad. Let me give you an example. If I said, hey, this is a this is a basketball, okay? Shoot it into the hoop. And if you're able to get 10 shots in a row in a week from now, I'll pay you $100, right? You wouldn't necessarily get mad at yourself for missing shots during the week because you're just practicing, right?
Yeah.
But like, let's say I just give you a basketball right now and I said, all right, you're on live television. You're going to win $100 if you make or miss this shot right now. Good luck. You might be really scared. You might put a lot of pressure on yourself. But the difference between those two situations is in the first situation, you have a lot of time to practice and there's no rush. You could just practice and shoot over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. The first one is like this one game, this one shot matters a lot. You must make this shot, right?
Yeah.
And you got to remind yourself that the ranked experience is the first game. And the funny thing is that with ranked, there's not even, I'm going to come in a week, and there's no time limit ever, right? You could hit Masters a month from now, 2 months from now, a year from now. There's no rush whatsoever. So sometimes it's like that frustration of like you're going in the wrong direction, but you're only going in the wrong direction if you're playing the game and not actually practicing anything. That's when you're going in the wrong direction, because that's what the average player does, right? Nothing wrong with that. If you're just going there to play and have fun and you don't want to practice, that's fine. But if you're going in there and you're practicing something and you're going in there with the right mentality and then it doesn't matter if you win or lose the game, because you're sowing that seed for a later harvest, right? So I know it's still tilting to lose. It's still frustrating to lose. You'd like to be one step closer. But the only way to win is to be a better player than the enemy support. And the only way to be a better player than the enemy support is to have, I'm practicing this. I bet your support is not practicing anything. And in a week's time, I'm going to have practiced so much that I will be 1% better than the average support on the enemy team, or 2% better. And you do that, and it's cumulative, and it gets higher and higher and higher and higher, and that's how you rank up.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
You got to remember that in the lost games, sometimes in those lost games, those are even better practice environments, because you failed, there's feedback on some of the things that you could be doing better. That's why when we VOD review, I don't like reviewing matches that are easy wins, right? Because you weren't under any pressure, and so it doesn't feel very challenging. But sometimes a close win or a close loss can be good to review because you were under pressure. You want pressure to improve.
Yeah.
You don't want to beat up on a 4-year-old. You don't want to beat up on a toddler. You know what I'm saying? Be like, hey, I feel good about myself. That's why, otherwise you just buy a bunch of bronze accounts, you know what I'm saying? And just spend a week playing in a bronze account. All right, next week playing a bronze account, but you'd be getting worse. And so we want to avoid that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So I know it's not going to be like, oh, now it's fixed. You're not stressful about ranked anymore. But just remember every time that you feel stressed over or frustrated over a 1 loss, 2 losses, or 3 losses, it does not matter. I lost 500 SR back in Overwatch 1 over the course of 2 or 3 days. And it was not even a mental boom. It wasn't. I wasn't boomed or anything. I was learning a new character. I wanted to play Ana, and I wasn't very good at Ana. This was before role queue, so I stopped playing tank and I played Ana and Zenyatta instead. And I lost a lot of SR, and I just was like, I have to do this if I want to have fun. I have to do this if I want to improve. I can't avoid it, right? And eventually, it stopped being quite as scary. And as long as I gave myself things to practice, it felt like, okay, yeah, I lost, but I really got my sleep dart accuracy, a little bit better, and I definitely my cover usage was better, and so for you, it's like with Kiriko, what's that going to be, right? What's that going to be, that thing that you're going to be thinking about when you lose? Your Suzus, your positioning, your angles, your mechanics, your TPs, your ults. Let's give you something to think about, so it's not just win or lose. That's how I rank up. It's angle or not angle, or ult or not ult. That's how I rank up.
Okay,
makes sense.
Yeah.
Hard, easy to understand, hard to execute, but at least it's a start. Be patient with yourself. Okay. And 7 hours of sleep isn't too shabby, but could be a little bit better as well. I'm sure you're busy with school and all that, but if you could even bump that up to 7.5, it's gonna be grand. Okay. Any questions so far?
No.
Okay. I don't really have anything else from your forum. Do you just want to take a look at some gameplay?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
I logged on yesterday to check my replay codes were still working that, and they said invalid version or something. So I've got 2 from yesterday, one from yesterday, one from today. They're not amazing. They're alright. The first one is KXA 6JD.
Got it. Wait.
J.
KXA.
Yeah, 6JD.
JD. I did GD. Okay. Okay. Now, which one are you?
Brig, Swift.
Oh, wait. So we're looking at Brig? No, wait a second. I thought you were Kiriko.
This is Brig first.
Oh, I didn't know you played Brig.
Kiriko
Okay. So why open with Brig? You play Brig as well?
Yeah. A bit of Brig recently.
Oh.
I'd say I don't think I'm very good at that. Definitely better.
Interesting. So I assume you want coaching on Brig?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. I haven't coached Brig in a while. I love Brig. So what got you into Brig?
I don't know, to be honest. Just, I have no idea.
Yeah, gave it a roll and stuck with it. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. So Brig is like one of those things, like, you know how like tell me what you know about Kiriko. It's actually like, if you were coaching like a bronze Kiriko, what would you say to a bronze Kiriko?
They're like people like Bap and Ana generally have more healing or more consistent healing stuff. But you have more like survivability for yourself.
Okay. Yep.
So maybe taking more, aggressive angles and that. Yeah.
So now we're gonna turn that into Brig terminology, okay? Brig does exact same thing, but the angles that she takes, first off, she doesn't have as a quite long range, right? So she tries to play in like close quarters, right?
Yeah.
The other thing is that Kiriko has the ability to TP out. So a Kiriko might hold an angle like this here, or even an angle like this here, or an angle like this here, right? And then TP out. With Brigitte, you don't have that same choice. So the angles that you hold are angles like this, or angles like this, or angles like this, right? Yeah. The other thing with Brig is a lot like Kiriko, you benefit a lot from having somebody with you to value out of that Inspire. For you, is going to be like, what space do I want to control with Brig? Which part of the map do I want to lock down? Like for here, you're saying, Ball, you cannot roll through this angle. Soldier, you cannot take this flank. That's basically what you're saying. The problem here is you want to always take an angle in relation to your team. That makes sense with where your team is holding. So I'm going to cheat for you. This is a bad angle. This is stupid. But why is this stupid, given the greater context of what's going
on? Because my team's quite far, they're quite far back compared to me. So
correct.
There's no need for us to control that space, I guess.
Correct. This would make sense if your Junker King was pushing through this choke, but she's not. So then now, what's going to happen with the enemy team's attention? Who's going to get all that attention?
Me.
And here we go.
I think I actually do die here. Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, right.
I don't know.
Very scary. Now you were smart enough, because what you do is you swing, you whip, and then you bash out. That's good, but I would have preferred for you to be already here, instead holding this angle in here or holding this choke here, and then have all your cooldowns, right? Instead of having to bash out.
Yeah.
And same kind of thing, right? Where it's a little, obviously we could talk about how you use your shield. Like for example, here, I maybe swing, and then shield to allow my HP to regenerate from my Inspire, right? I let him break half of my shield, and then I, swing whip shot or bash or something like that. You don't want to have a death with see the number in the middle of your screen, 250 HP shield.
Yeah.
You need to be able to manage those two resources back and forth. You never want to die with full shield. And you never want to have, a broken shield with full HP, basically. You want to have to manage the two. But obviously, all that micro aside, what are you doing here, mate? Right? You're so far up, right? And I think that's something that you're going to need to keep an eye on. I actually don't even mind what you tried to do. I mind where you did it. Does that make sense?
I feel like, yeah. I feel like I struggled quite a lot in this game, because I don't feel like there was many people to protect. Like I can pack the Mercy, but like maybe the Genji on some flanks.
Right. And this is where Brig struggles, because Kiriko, the answer is very simple. If there's nobody to protect you, then you just do damage. The problem with Brig is the answer is still the same. It's just harder to do because you don't have the same level of mobility. So if there's nobody to protect from, there's not like they're not running dive characters, you actually do need to be finding people to swing on. You just need to be very careful about how and where you do that. Like, for example, right now, you might be thinking, hey, I don't know what to protect. Can I find a way to sneak up on the Zenyatta and Sojourn? Do you see, like, think about it. What support could go in here comfortably and prevent anybody from coming in this room and maybe even killing people that come in. What support could do that?
Yeah, I can't just Brig, I guess.
Right. There's not very many. There isn't a support that's better than Brig in this kind of a space. The question is how are you going to get there? And that's the Brigitte conundrum. Because if you think about what killed you, where were you when you were killed? What distance? You see?
Very long range, yeah.
This is where Brigitte gets really, 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 and like obviously it's also unfortunate. I don't think she was aiming for you. Yeah, I know. Maybe she was, but regardless, like that's where you have to be super, super careful. Good. So you're thinking like, oh no, but like even them pushing you here is kind of what you want because in theory, like look at that, right? That's Brigitte right there. Fight was already lost at that point, but that's Brigitte. Good. Good. Ha! Thank you. Let's enjoy this. Perfect. Exactly like we drew it up. This is what we're talking about, right? Look at this. Look at this. So, where's the angle that matters right now?
The main choke.
Right, the main choke, right? So what do? You're like, I'm gonna bash in. Because there's cover here and it's just a Moira. Smart decision. Because if you were not here, this Moira would be an absolute ass to your Mercy and Genji. So guess what? You get her out. And then also, as the Ashe is running to safety, right? No, it's not safety because it's a flanking Brigitte. Nice job. But you notice what was unique about those angles? All very tight, close, right? Not split, not very open, not a lot of range. So where should you position here? Bit of an open question.
Maybe right, but there's no one coming down right. But I wouldn't know that at the time, obviously. But.
Right. Even just holding your Junker Queen here, but then if you're to go right here, then your Junker Queen pushes. Here's your opportunity. Here's your opportunity. Yeah. The other thing that you could do is if obviously the mines prevent this from being reasonable. Let's say there's no mines here. What if you held here with your Genji? You held this angle here. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is where you die. Where's your cover? And what range are you playing versus the enemy composition? You see this?
Yeah.
So I want you to find ways of sneakily playing short, tight angles to close the distance to help other people hold those angles, but also for you to be able to make your own plays. I like the idea. I think the Ashe hits a headshot on you, I think. Now you're just getting rolled. Yeah, she hits a shot on you, and then the Ashe. Yeah, I mean it's an okay play. It really is truly it's an okay play. The fight was even. The only thing here is that irony. The reason why you die is because you ran to a mine, and then you never fully. You ran to another mine, and you never like fully recovered. So you know what? That's just a stupid mistake. The idea of the play is great. You're coming on an angle. You're very close. You're the best support in the world at doing this. You just needed full HP. That's all. As the Sojourn dies, then you live. Your Genji lives. And then honestly, you might have been able to kill even one or two more. You definitely would have forced Coalescence out of the Moira, which would have been a good trade. Yeah. Any questions so far?
I don't think so. I've struggled with finding those like close encounters, like rooms.
Yes. Hold short angles or push short angles, depending on the situation. If they're running dive, you can help hold and mark. But because besides Brigitte, there's nothing really, besides Ball, there's nothing really to peel here. You can't just stand there and wait for Ball to engage. You have to go out and do things like this and say, Ashe, you're not allowed to hold high ground.
Yeah.
And then here, why are you going back to peel the Ball?
At the time, I thought the Junker Queen died. I was like I didn't think I could just hold there, so I went back to my team, and the ball just happened to be there.
Sure, which is nice. But actually, look at this really quick here. What could you do from this high ground? This is a trick question.
I don't know. Annoy the Zen.
You could annoy the Zen. But what? Let's say the Zen left cart was rotated over here. Let's say all the squishies were over here. What would you do?
Nothing. I don't know.
It's tricky, isn't it? Right? Why is it tricky? Why does it feel so bad?
Because it's a long range.
It's a long range, and there's no real clear way to close the distance. Now you could be creative. You could bash across to here and play in corner here, maybe. Still risky though, right? Or you could go back and peel the ball, which I think is actually, like you said, it was a bit of an accident, but it's understandable. So you could have harassed this in here, but yeah. Anyway, long story short, this is fine. But even here, you got to be thinking like, okay, how can I close the distance on these guys? Now, thankfully, your Junkrat's just running onto point here, so maybe I bash in here. Why?
Practice looking at the Junkrat.
Yeah.
They've probably used cooldowns.
Yeah.
So,
it's a dive time. Time to go. There it is. And it works. Your Junkrat died to help you out. That's good. Now they're on ball tracer. So do you think there's as much pressure for you to push backline?
But as much pressure for me to push their backline?
Yeah.
No.
So you can kind of be like, okay, what angle do I want to hold? And just harass ball tracer the entire game. If you see a chance to push them, you could push things. But I want you sniffing out that ball tracer. You need to get out of here. You're going to die. Yeah. You could bash out of mines. So like if you're, first off, you try to block the slam with your shield, because you can block it, and then just bash out as they're detonating quickly to either this direction or this direction, and then you're going to die. That is your arch nemesis, it's ball mines. Good. Good. Winnable. Touch. Maybe pocket your Genji. Or, yeah, unfortunate. You're a little slow with the packs there.
Yeah.
This is where, let me kind of break down. You know what, actually, I want you to do it yourself. So this is where, if you're slightly better, you're going to pack your Genji, right? Then what do you see?
Tracer.
Mm-hmm.
On
what else
the other side of the cart. The Ashe, pretty far back.
Yeah.
Really
do you reckon that you could go for her? Or at least pressure
her? Yeah.
I reckon so too. I understand the Tracer's closer, but the irony is that would Brigitte rather swing on a Tracer or rather swing on an Ashe?
An Ashe, right?
An Ashe, right?
Yeah.
People always think Brigitte peels Tracer and swing on Tracer, but that's because the Tracer comes close, which is what you want. An Ashe doesn't come close. But if the Ashe does come close, swing on the Ashe. It's going to be easier to kill. That's it. So pack the Genji here. Consider bashing in here and playing the cover here. Maybe hit a whip. You know, I don't know. Maybe whip them off the map. Get play of the game, right? So like, yeah, something to consider. Okay. The reason why Brig is good versus dive is not just because of things like whip shot and shield bash. It's because they play to your range most of the time. They get up close and personal, which is exactly what you want people to do. You kind of see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And unlike heroes like Ryan and Ramatra and Mei, they just won't instantly kill you. This is okay. She's close. The other guys are not quite so close. But honestly here, like once you force her recall, here, you might be thinking, okay, where can I go? Oh, good. Okay. I mean, it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad. One thing I will say that seems to be a consistent theme with you is you're not always super aware of your HP. This happens to me whenever I was joking about this last stream I had. I died like 3 times unnecessarily when we were playing Moira, just for fun, you know? Because I felt like because I'm in Moira, like I just don't die, you know? And I'm like, oh no, I'm dead. And it kind of feels like the same thing here, where it's like if you were playing like Zenyatta and you were 49 HP, you know what you'd be doing right now, right? You'd be screaming and hiding and shielding and shrieking and spamming, I need healing, right? But now you're just like, oh, you know, I reckon I'm fine, you know, I'm just running. But you're not fine. You're not fine. You desperately need help. And I think that's happened a couple of times, even going back to that rally remember the rally where you died to the mines? I don't think you knew you were that low. I think you pressed rally, you're like, I'm invincible. Well, yes and no, right? So just something to keep in mind. One other detail as well. So we're going to throw a lot of details at you. Are you ready?
Yeah.
That's fine for a little bit of ult charge. That is not fine. You see what I'm saying? You desperately need at least one pack, if not two, in situations where there's a fight about to start. Let your Moira get the ult charge. And then here, you pack your Winston again on accident instead of packing the Genji, which is pretty funny. So now you have two squishy DPS that both need to pack, and you've packed Winston 3 times in a row. so there's something to keep in mind. And then you're like, right? That's way too stressful. Way too stressful. And the worst part is, the funny thing is that like now, not only do you not have Inspire proc, but you have 0 packs. And the fight is just now starting. So keep that in mind. Short angle here. And this is where you could just sit with your Junkrat, right? Short angle, pocket him, short angle. If they push, wham! Right into there.
Yeah.
Good? Oh, man. And do you feel like this entire fight has just been like, I don't have enough packs. You see that?
Yeah.
And it started before the fight even started. That's what happened. It started before the fight even started. And I assume they're going to cap here. Oh, maybe not. Swing the squishies. Shield. Good. Uh-oh. Don't die to mines. That's your arch nemesis. Come on. Huge. We got the kill on the Tracer. No dying to mines today. Not happening. Nicely done. Okay? Up nice and close. Good. Now hold your shield a little bit here, right? Why?
Shield's 166. I'm 131.
Exactly. So put your shield at 130 and your HP to 166, right? Like flip-flop the numbers just a little bit, right? Something to keep in mind. Yep. If you ever mess a Peel versus a Winston, just bash out. Where's Junkrat going? Is he going Bastion? He's going Bastion, isn't he? I knew it. That little rat. This guy goes back to spawn to swap Bastion because of a Winston swap. And you guys are about to lose the fight because he wasn't even engaged. Maybe not. Genji might carry it. Okay, so... Ooh. Yeah, you guys are going to hold. Okay, so lots to unpack here. Obviously, we're going to go and move ahead to Kiriko. And maybe we'll go back to Brigitte with the other replay code they have. We'll see how much time we have. But let's take some notes before we do that. So, Brig, what do you need to practice with Brig?
Holding my shield up earlier. I'm watching
Managing
my HP.
shield HP. Keeping more awareness of both will help. It kind of feels like that was like 2 things rolled into one. Are you aware of how low you are? Are you aware of how much shield HP you are? Managing those 2 when you're taking engagements. And that is a very, very, very difficult skill to practice. But let's put it this way, very difficult skill to master, but it's actually pretty simple to start practicing. You just need to think about it a little bit. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I would highly recommend just taking a little bit of time to think about it and practice it. Even if you don't do it perfectly, just do a little bit.
Okay.
Make sense? Okay.
Yep.
What were some of the other skills that we talked about practicing?
At the start, when I was like way too far, like just completely in front of my team, we didn't even need the space that I was holding, and I ended up dying because of it.
Right. So I want to put the positive first, though. So we talked about the negative aspect of things. So what should you don't do that, but what should you be doing instead then?
Keeping an eye on my team more.
Okay. But positioning wise, what kind of angles, what kind of positions are you looking for with Brig?
Short, close range.
Take short angles, either to deny space or to pressure squishies, right?
Yeah.
And don't, that's the point that we talked about, right? Don't hold ahead of your team. Hold space around your team's position, right? Which is what you said.
Yeah.
Okay. So you kind of know, do you have at least a little bit of a better understanding of what we're looking for with Brigitte positioning?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. That's, again, a very complicated topic, and it's especially challenging when they run things like Pharah. You might have to start flank breaking, try and find that support, right? But you do want to try and hold close quarters on an angle. Now, the reason why the angle part is important is not just because awkward and Spilo and angles, but what if they run Reinhardt May?
Yeah.
You cannot match those guys, right?
One question actually. What do you think of like because I watched the awkward unranked GM on Brig, and there was like a Samita video as well. With the like trigger and inspire, like going out, like staying on main, like trigger and inspire, shield bash, and repeating that. Because I feel it working, but then sometimes, like like you said, against Ryan and May and that, it's just impossible.
I think it can work in some circumstances. I've seen both of those videos. I think they both have a lot of good information, but because I'm an esoteric snob, I don't think it's perfect. And I think there's going to be some situations where I think it's going to feel bad.
Okay, yeah.
I think actively trying to control space and take angles and set up plays with your DPS or your tank or whatever, your supports, not on main, is going to be the more consistent way to get value out of Brig, especially on maps that are bad for Brig.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
And then here's what I want you to do. Like, I guess going back to where we first said is like, if you have any questions, if you run into a composition or a map where you're like, I legitimately did not know what to do versus this, or I don't know how I was supposed to position or where I was supposed to position, take a screenshot and send me the screenshot and be like, hey, what the frick? You know what I'm saying? And I'll get back to you. Because I think it's like one of those situations where it's like, it's such a complicated topic, but looking at it from an overhead perspective may help you to solve the question yourself. And if not, I'll help you with it.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, no problem. So hold ahead of your team, take short angles, and keep an eye on pack management. Don't just spam, especially on tank. You will find yourself often with no packs left in the fight, and that's totally fine if you could look me in the eye and say, I needed to use those packs. Those packs were good, right? But you never want to be like, oh, we lost the fight because I just pressed E, and I don't even know why I pressed that button, right? Okay. Any questions besides that?
I don't think so. No.
I think you're gonna like Brig. I think Brig is underrated. I enjoy Brigitte a lot, and there's a lot of variety with the ways that she could be played. She's definitely gonna feel good in some comps and bad in some comps. She feels great versus any sort of dive. She feels great when there's any sort of short off angles where you can control space. But as soon as things get very open and broad, or very, 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 very brawly and up close, she feels kind of bad. But there's still ways of getting value out of her. You just have to be creative enough. Okay.
Yeah.
Any questions before you jump ahead?
No.
Okay, Kiriko time. Let's do it. Oh, I jumped out of the code. I guess we could just, look at the same code.
QFR.
Oh, wait, hang on. Wait, sorry, do you want to finish this code?
Yeah. No, my bad. Yeah.
No, I'm the stupid one. I left the code. I'm like, oh wait, I'm going back in the code. Okay. Well. Yeah. Take angles, shoot, pressure, support, the whole 9 yards. I know Awkward has like a little bit of a system that he likes to do, where it's like 3, 2, 1, do this, or do the step 1, do step 2, step 3. I think that's all fine and dandy. It's great, and you can kind of see like where you're here. It's like you're actually doing a lot of healing right now. But think about it this way: who on your team could support your Doomfist? Did Moira do this? No, she'd die. Did Brigitte do this? No, she'd die too, right? So you're doing what I want you to do is I want you to support aggression in spots where you can heal tanks and DPS that are super push up on angles, and also where you can do damage too. I really like what you're doing right now. Now, what I would not do here is I would not look forlornly at my Doomfist like, oh no, I can't help you because I don't know if that's a safe TP. Instead, be like, okay, he's gonna die, so I'm gonna kill the soldier.
Okay, yeah.
You kind of see what I'm saying? So anywhere you're like, you look at this and you're like, I can't support you, fine. Hit him in the head. Shoot somebody. Because he's created a lot of space. Use that space. And definitely don't go back and chase a Wrecking Ball. You're not going to kill that guy. You have no damage on him. You're probably one of the worst characters in the game at killing Wrecking Ball because no headshot hitbox, right? So instead of you peeling back on the Wrecking Ball, sit here and kill these guys. Because the irony here is, do you want to know what kills your Genji? Actually, it's your Bastion. Where is it your Genji? Yeah, it's your Bastion, right? It's the soldier on main, right? The soldier that you should have been shooting, right? Not the Wrecking Ball.
They're like trading, like if there's someone that I can't kill in the back line, like reliably.
Yes.
Like trading with them, basically.
Yes, it's just simply a target priority, right? Like you just know that Wrecking Ball is not a target. Like a Winston jumps your backline. What are you going to do about that? Like you can't go back there. You can't break Winston bubble. You can't even reliably CC Winston, right? So like find something else to do. Because you are one of the best squishy 1v1 characters in the entire game, much to DPS main's chagrin. So don't spend time shooting a tank. You're not a Zenyatta. Like even here, like I think like there's a lot of like time spent here, but really you should be TPing to where? You see it?
What with the Doomfist and Genji?
Yeah, really. Yeah. Now, is there risk involved? Yes, 100%. But is there reward involved? 100%. Because what are they going to do? They're going to all focus you? You've got coverage here, right? You have Suzu. Go ahead.
I was thinking I should help my Moira because like Moira dies to ball, basically. Like, you know, at least
Maybe.
With my experience.
Maybe, but let me ask you a question. Is the ball going to continue to distract both of you?
Yeah.
Is there any chance that you and your Moira kill the Wrecking Ball?
No.
0 chance. And to be frank with you, Moira should not die to Wrecking Ball. Moira might get annoyed, distracted by Wrecking Ball, but it should be they kill each other. It should be this is a lost cause. Go help this over here.
Okay. Yeah.
That's what Kiriko does best. This is not what Kiriko does best. 40 damage to a 9,000 HP target. Go, take an angle. But see, this is very frustrating for Doomfist because he and Genji have done so much over here, and yet the enemy team is just right taking the space right back. Why? Because Ball did not even let you guys walk forward at all, and that's your fault. Not only your fault, but you know your review, so it's your fault. Good. Only nitpick I would have here is you don't necessarily need to be. I know this is something that Awkward says. That one thing I don't agree with him on. I don't think you need to be here. I think you need to be here or here. Honestly, even here. The thing with Awkward, I think that you need to be leveraging your range a little bit more, right? We talk about Brigitte, right? A Brigitte might play something here and distract and bash away, right? But Kiriko, you're ridiculous. You have no fall off. You just spam at head height in a big clump and you hit shots, right? And the reason why that's important is it's not like, oh no, I might die. You're not likely to die. You might die, but it's not likely. You just have Suzu and TP. But why would you want to TP and Suzu away? Why not just sit here? How are they going to clear you? How are they going to get rid of you from being here?
Moira will have to fade over or...
It's ridiculous, right? Yeah. It'd be ridiculous, right? So you could sit here and damage for a long time. High value damage. Even just holding here. High value damage. Whereas here, see how long you last. Risky, but also you did not last as long as you would have liked. You see that? So you had to eventually leave. Whereas the other angle, you could have held. And that's the difference. It's not that I encourage less damage than Awkward. I encourage more damage than Awkward. Yeah, honestly, just break the mines because like you're not going to kill him anyway. So good shots. Really nice shots. Nice. Okay, good stuff. Any questions so far?
No, I don't think so.
Alrighty. So find an angle to either find damage or help your team or both. And then shoot. That's pretty much it. Okay. Now, this falls into the Brigitte category, where I don't actually mind this position, but... You ready for it? You see it?
No. What?
Who's engaged in your team right now?
Genji.
And you, right? So it's two.
Yeah, me. Yeah.
And how many members of the enemy team are engaged or will be engaged very soon?
All of them. Right.
3, 4,
Pretty
then
much,
5. Yeah. Right. So my point is that I don't mind what you're doing. Just be very careful. Because that's why they're putting so much attention on you, is because they can. There's nothing else to do. And that's why your Genji's probably should die here, honestly. Okay. Ooh, yeah. Good? Good? You notice again, all you did that fight was heal. At least,
yeah.
But it was needed, right? And again, what support could have done this and lived?
Can I ask, do you think I should have Suzu there or not?
Probably, yeah. Just to be safe. Yeah, just to be safe. Yeah, I think so.
I watched one of your videos and you said about not ult tracking, ability tracking.
Yeah.
On like Genji's deflect and Moira's fade and all that.
Yep.
I really struggle with that. like
it's really
constantly
difficult,
checking
right?
if they used it. Yeah.
It's really difficult. I mean, you look at this here, and you're like, he's deflecting, but what if the Forest splashes with him with the rocket, right? If you're really not sure, it's okay to Suzu. It really is.
Okay.
Yeah, TLDR is you carried this fight with just healing, right? And one of the thing with Kiriko is it's like the aggressive angles might mean that you end up distracting. It might mean you kill. It might mean you heal because you're going to sit there with a Tracer and a Sombra and they're just going to demand healing the entire time. But the thing is that there's no support in the game. Good Suzu. There's no support in the game that could hold that angle and do so safely, right? That's the whole point. Your Junkrat is potentially brain damaged, but that goes without saying. Like, what was the plan here? Why? Okay, well. Eloy all confirmed real. Let it rip. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. I would use my ultimate here just to guarantee the cap, to be honest with you. Really, really.
Okay.
Maybe. Maybe. I think you're okay. Yeah, okay. Woohoo. Okay. This is what we're talking about, right? Look at this. Look what you're doing. What are you doing?
Flanking.
Flanking. And not only are you flanking, but you're flanking with a DPS, so you can heal, you can damage, and you have your... This is great. So the question here is, don't second guess yourself here. I think you're aware. You want to check your Moira. You want to check your Moira. I get it. But then here, okay, she's safe. Go. Let it rip. Good Suzu. Let it rip. Honestly, I might even Kitsune rush here.
Yeah, that was the same thing as earlier. I was like, oh, I should peel my Moira because she's gonna die.
Right. Now here's the thing. It's like I think that you could have kept your Moira alive here if you'd been a little bit faster with the healing. The healing misses there crucially. The difference is here. The Moira's right next to you, so it's okay. I don't want you to peel when you have a situation where you have to go all the way back to go help the target when you could just get value now, right? This is fine. Yeah. Moira's right next to you. And to be frank, she should have lived. I think she actually misses. Yeah, so she just misses her fade. But yeah. The real challenge is what are you going to do here? Because there's not a lot of angles to play. So you're going to have to be very quick, creative, and definitely going to need to use your Kitsune Rush as soon as you guys get over that bridge. Because I think you've been holding it for too long. Mm. See, even here, why would you position here when you could position where?
Left to my Diva or right?
TP to your Genji up here, right? And hold the angle here, right? Pot some shots, take an angle. There's no reason for you to be standing here and praying that the Hanzo doesn't hit a shot.
Yeah.
Consider using your ultimate here, honestly. Right? I think you're waiting for the perfect opportunity for this ultimate, but in reality, Kitsune Rush is one of the most flexible ultimates in the game. Use it whenever you want. It's value.
I think I just felt like they would just like back up, go behind cover if I used it. Yeah. And it would just be completely pointless.
True, but at that point in time, with how aggressively they're holding space, your team will get a lot of value out of being able to actually walk across the bridge. Where are we? Without actually dying. And then also, if you Kitsune Rush here, your team can then take it and shoot continually here to force your team to back up even more.
Yeah, okay.
You know, so if your team is really struggling to get out of a choke, you might need to use an ultimate to get out of that space. It's one of those things where it's like, it might not get a kill, but you have to be smarter than that. Like, you got to know that, like, okay, a kill isn't everything. And then even here, right? You need to be hitting some shots here, I think. I think what's happening is you're kind of getting in this like negative cycle where like everyone's crit. But as soon as your Zarya is like close to full, you need to be shooting the soldier. Like, you absolutely have to be shooting the soldier, and you absolutely cannot be standing out in the open here.
Yeah, I thought as soon as I died, I was like, oh, I could have played like backwards behind like, on the staircase there.
And just shot people in the face. And just shot people in the face. Because we are now 5 minutes without using our ultimate as well. Good. I mean, you got to do something, right? I think I might go back. I might even use high ground here, hit some shots. I might even use Kitsune Rush right now. Right now. Do it. Hit some shots. Don't go back. Don't even. If she's going to die because she's a jackass, let her die. Hit some shots. This is a great angle from you. Some shots. Use the ult. Do it. 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 Yes. Yes. Let's go. Instantly we win. Perfect. And because they're running, they're not really playing cover either. So that's part of the reason why they die as well. Diva's gonna stagger herself. Yeah, brilliant stagger here. Very nice. I know we're moving quickly. Do you have any questions so far?
Yeah. So when you said about like peeling people that are close to me,
yes.
So should I not be TPing on? So say I have like an Ana on my team.
Yeah.
And they have a tracer, and the tracer's like attacking my Ana, flanking her.
Yep.
And me and someone else are on an off angle shooting the enemy. Do you think I should TP back to my Ana and like save it from the tracer? Because I could probably kill a tracer, like maybe, you know.
The most difficult
Kiriko or something.
The most difficult decision you're ever going to make. Ask yourself, is it a safe TP? If so, then it's up to you.
Okay.
If you're confident you could save your Ana, then it might be worth it. But if you're confident where you are right now is like gotta get a kill 100% because you're enabling aggression and hitting shots yourself, then it's tough. It's tough.
Okay.
Let's put it this way. In those situations, it's actually not really that important which decision that you make, just that you do either one well. If you stay with your tank or DPS, it's fine. That's good. If you go back and you peel your Ana off because she's crit and she needs the help and you can definitely help her, sure, go for it. It's fine. Works for me. So in situations where it's a tough decision, the good news is that if you make the wrong decision, it's still going to be just fine. Just do it well.
Okay.
What you don't want to worry about those situations. You want to worry about the ones when you absolutely should not have TP'd back. You're TP'ing back in a Moira with a Wrecking Ball. Give me a break. That was stupid, right? You're not taking an angle on an aggressive and hitting. You're healing at full HP Zarya when you should be shooting the soldier right in front of you. That's stupid. Focus on the big errors, right? Don't worry about the tiny little details because those, if you don't get those 100% correct, you're still going to win a lot of games.
Okay.
And if it makes you feel any better, there isn't like an obvious clear answer like, oh, Grandmasters know it's this. You know, it's not. There's no clear answer. Just use your judgment. Some Grandmasters would do one thing. Some Grandmasters would do the other thing. It's up to you. Like right now, you are not peeling your team. You don't need to because you're on an angle and you're going to do damage and you're going to kill the Hanzo. Right? Beautiful. Now, right now, should you heal your Zarya or shoot the Moira?
Shoot Moira.
Shoot the Moira because she's standing perfectly still in a Graviton Surge and now will die. Should you shoot the Wrecking Ball or should you shoot the Soldier?
Soldier.
Shoot the Soldier. That was a great fight from you, really. Really, really nice fight. Now you're going to cap this, right? Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Well done. Well done. We have a little more time. You want to look at the other code?
Yeah. This one is not very good. Like we didn't get rolled, but you know, the first round was quite close. The second round wasn't.
Yeah.
It's on Antarctic Peninsula, which I really hate. It's QFRAH7. Yeah, I hate this map. I feel like there's not any good off angles. Like on this inside one, this angle's way too long, and on the other one, it's way too short, and it's horrible.
Yeah, let's see what we can do. You're not one of those voice line spammers, are you?
No.
Absolute snoozer gameplay.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Maybe. I understand. Here's what it is. When you have situations like this where you're like, I don't know where I should go. What if you even like walked forward to here? Like, would that be too close to Roadhog? Or what if I went over? Is this too far? Can I still heal my team from here? Is this too far? You know, what if I like rotate? Answer those questions. The only way you're going to be able to answer those questions is going back to the very, very, very start of the review, which is don't be scared to lose the game. Practice.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I've not coached Kiriko with Wrecking Ball on Antarctica sub-level before. Okay? So I don't know if what's going to work into a Roadhog Tracer, right? I don't think you're actively trolling right now. But maybe there was more opportunity here to get more damage early and often onto their very fragile backline. And because you've spent this entire time basically holding a passive angle, you didn't do enough damage. You didn't do enough damage. The enemy team does more damage. The enemy team does more damage. You can't heal enough, and you lose the fight. You guys see what I'm saying? But we don't know that. Maybe this was just, maybe there isn't another better angle. But if you don't know the answer to that, you need to go find it. And the best part about that is there's no wasted games. Even if you lose 0-2, don't win a single team fight. If you learn something about this, then it's great. Honestly, here, don't second guess yourself here. I don't even know that I would go back here. Your team's fine. You have an Ana to help handle most of the healing. Hold the angle here. Right?
Do you think because at the time I think I was thinking that my team isn't there, so maybe I should wait for my team and then go back in.
You should wait for your team, but that doesn't mean that you have to rotate away from the angle.
Okay, but so just stay up there and chill out a little bit, you know.
Right. Now I actually don't mind what you're doing here either. Right. This is, you kind of have the same general idea, but because you've taken a different angle. This is good. Now you can help your Hanzo and actually do damage at the same time. Good. Come on. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Now, what should she be doing now?
Pushing.
Pushing. Right. So you want to keep an LOS in your Hanzo, but there's nothing stopping you from going here. Right? Slightly deeper angle. Right? Rotate on that Roadhog. Don't go back and heal your Zarya. Rotate here and hold it so wherever the Roadhog or Mercy is, you can shoot them. And honestly, once again, do not hesitate using Kitsune Rush here. If you're... Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And you win the fight. Lovely. That was your best fight. Was it perfect? That was your best fight. And do you see that you learned something from that? Hey, if we retake and my team goes top, I can actually go top right. It's good. Now, be careful about this. Because this is going to get your TP force and your Suzu force before the fight starts, which means not only will you get your cooldowns forced and maybe die, but also when you TP out here, where you're going to be when the fight starts. Let's find out. This is not an angle, right?
Yeah.
So you took an angle when it didn't matter and then didn't have an angle when it did. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And this entire fight is just a chain of chaos that you're being deadlifted out of by your teammates' ultimates. Look at the Tracer, stop shooting Hog. He's worse than Wrecking Ball. Actually, he's not worse than Wrecking Ball, but he's almost as bad. Alright, get her. Nice. Get him. See, that kind of mattered because the enemy team was committing on main at the same time. Careful. Go back, help your Genji. Go take the soldier duel. Can't help that. Go take the soldier duel. Yes, thank you. Do not let him... Ah, this is it. This is it. That's just mechanics. You should have gotten that kill.
Yeah.
But good decision, right? Because you were... Look at this. This is why this is so important. We're talking about support, right? The most lethal person on the battlefield right now is the soldier on this angle right here. Especially if your team had held here, because they would have all been shot in the back. He has visor, right? So what did you do? Is you took the most lethal threat in the enemy team right now, and you made him turn around, demand a mercy pocket, and you probably should have killed him.
Yeah.
That's what Kiriko does. Not only do you use the angle for yourself, but you stop the angle from being used by the rest of your team. Or by the rest of the enemy team, excuse me. This might just get a kill. Yeah, that's fine. That was good. That was a good fight from you. Yeah, so let's keep going. Any questions so far with this section?
Don't think so. Actually, wait, no, yeah, I do. Sorry.
Please.
Earlier on, it was the first Kitsune, I think. I used it, and it was like just Hog on point or something. Yeah, right there. Mm-hmm. And should I have used it? Because it's Hog.
Yes.
And I'm just shooting 45 things at Hog, and it was like, it didn't feel as good as like dinking everyone with Kitsune and like.
Well, first off, the question was it just Hog? The answer is frankly no.
Oh yeah, it wasn't.
Hog and Tracer and Ana here and Mercy here. So first off, no. Second off, you're not the only one using it.
Yeah. That's a good point, actually.
Sometimes you will be the only one using it. I actively encourage sometimes people to solo Kitsune on a really good angle if the situation demands it, right? But you're not the only one using it here. Your Rosaria lives because of Kitsune Rush. She would have died without that Kitsune Rush because she had that extra bubble and she had the extra heal speed of the Ana. Keep that in mind. Kitsune Rush is a very odd ultimate for Kiriko because it does kind of contradict a lot of how you position. But if you're able to take an angle like you did there and still get value with your team with it, perfect. peek.
We've got this. Fate draws us together.
Okay, let's see it happen. Take an angle, Kitsune rush, win the fight.
Kitsune is ready to be unleashed.
Good.
This is embarrassing. This part.
I mean, it's 1 for 1. We'll take it.
Yeah. Would you think that's
Interesting.
would you say that's a good trade or not?
No. A better Kiriko should get away from that one.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm being nice. That's all right. What I look at that is I look at that and I'm like, you know what? Was the angle good? Yes. Was the timing good? Yes. Did you use your abilities in the right order? Yes. You just messed up. That's all. Because like I don't care about goofy, stupid mistakes. I care about you making bad decisions or not thinking at all.
Yeah. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
I would rather you make a stupid mistake than you not to think. I literally would rather you have you TP off the map than not hold an off angle, right?
Don't be down. We still got this.
That was fine. Okay. Good. I would have kept going with my Tracer, frankly. Keep going. Help her out. Because it's not just about the angle. Because you take the angle and then go back to main, first off. But then also, like, if you're here, it's not just about the damage value that you get, but also the healing value, too. You get literally the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Right? Do both. Like, do you see how, like, this position just feels uncomfortable and awkward? Then you're back on main. Meanwhile, let's watch what happened with your Tracer. Shoots a little bit, distracts a little bit. Oh no, gets pushed, has to run away because she has no support. See how this entire storyline for both you and Tracer could have been an absolute perfect combination. Instead, it was a miserable failure for both of you. Go help your Genji. Where's your Tracer? So you could even be looking for your Tracer. Be like, hey, can I TP under here? This is pretty safe. Maybe find an opportunity to wrap around behind again. Good. Stupid mistake. It's a stupid mistake, but again, it's like I'm more concerned about what happened prior to that, right? The fact that you weren't on an angle for that entire fight when you absolutely could have been. Stupid mistake. We don't care. And whenever you're looking at your own gameplay, or even when you're playing your own games, you should try to have the same attitude. I know it's hard, but mistakes like that, don't worry about it. Stop shooting the tank. Good. Keep rotating. Keep rotating. Shoot. Yes. Ana soldier totally distracted, and now this is it. Look. Watch. Oh, this is beautiful. Ah! Oh, there it is. Look at that. And the Ana is already dropped off the high ground. She just gave up. She didn't want to play with you. Right? And then now your Genji is high ground, and now you guys have the entire like Coliseum wrapped around on the entire point. And then you just lose awareness because you were shooting the Roadhog. Ah, no.
Yeah.
Okay. You got to fight the dopamine. You gotta find something else to shoot sometimes. You know, just because it feels dinkity dink doesn't mean that it's actually good. You know, and again, just silly errors here. Okay, so let's stop here. Let's wrap up some notes here. Kiriko, what do you need to practice?
Kitsune, like not holding Kitsune.
Okay. Don't hold Kitsune if you find opportunities to use it. Let it rip. What else?
Like not backing off of angles so easily, like with that Tracer.
Sure.
I guess.
Sure. Explain what you mean.
So, like there, I started going the Tracer. I saw people, and I just started moving backwards immediately because like two of them. Tracer carried on going. And I was like,
hold angles.
Yeah.
Find one to pressure, especially if you're with someone, because it's very easy to kind of get lost in the sauce and think Kiriko's just a DPS. But the reality is that like if you can +1 in an angle, that's really where she's the greatest, right? There isn't a okay. What else? Those are the big two, probably. Is there anything else?
I don't know.
Well, I got it.
Yeah.
Limit test angles when you're not sure how to position And limit test when going back to peel versus continuing to pressure is appropriate.
What does that mean? Just like
so when should I go back and help my Ana versus when should I just kill the backline? Remember that question that you had?
Yeah.
That's
like
the question right there.
Okay.
Anything else do you think? Those are the main ones, I think.
I don't think so. I don't remember.
No, I don't think so either. Okay. Well, that's a lot to work on though. As always, highly recommend not trying to bite off the entire sandwich one at a time. Practice one of them for like a game, a day, a week, whatever. Make a little bit of progress, move on to the next. Don't try to do everything at once. Highly recommend don't try to do everything at once. Okay. Any questions?
No, I think that's